So I received a request for help with this one, which is 13.1, number 9 in the study plan. I, of course, don't know where it's going to show up in your homework. I'm going to view an example. But if you'll see what's going on here, what they want us to do is figure out the F-test statistic for this data. And this is already pre-given to you. So let me just remind you of section 13.1's notes for a second. So in 13.1, we learned how to compare, different groups of data, one group, another group, another group, and what we're doing is comparing the means. Now, if you have the raw data, StatCrunch will do it for you pretty quickly, to be honest. It's very fast. But if you don't have the raw data, if you have the actual numbers, like in this case, where you know N and you know X bars and stuff, but that's it, then you can't use StatCrunch. You're just going to have to do it by hand. And to do it by hand, it would help if you reminded yourself what the formula was. And here it is. This is the F-test statistic formula. Okay, so it's the mean squares due to treatment right here divided by the mean squares due to error, and the formulas for each one of those is up here. And you can see you take your N1 times your X1 minus X bar, right? All this good stuff. Okay, now remember, looking at our problem, we know what N1 and N2 and all of that is. Hold on, I gotta bring them up. Find it. There it is. Okay. So we know N1, N2, N3. In this case, it's really simple. They're all 10. So be it. And then you have your X bars. That's right there because those are sample means. That's X bar 1, X bar 2, X bar 3, and so on. And these are your variances. S squared 1, S squared 2, and so on. Okay. And the 1, 2, 3 is just labeling them. This is number 1. This is number 2. Okay. So the first thing we're going to have to do, if you didn't catch it in there, there's a formula for MST, the mean squares due to treatment, that involves X bar. See the X bar in there? Well, X bar is what we learned in section 3.3, believe it or not. You learned it all the way back then. It is the weighted mean, essentially. So let me remind you, I need the sum of these three right here, right? And then I don't really need the sum of these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the sum product. So equals sum product of this array, which is the 10, 10, 10, comma, this array. And then to find the mean, which is X bar, you just take that number, 1050, and you divide it by your sum. And there you go, you got it, it's 35. Okay, so there's your X bar right there. Okay, so then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to figure out the rest of these pieces of this formula. Let me see. Okay, so I need N1 times X1 minus X bar, N2, right, and so on. Well, that's actually another sum product. If I could actually just find what these guys are, and then I could sum product it. So I'm going to add in a column right here. So let me add in here. So this is going to be X minus X bar squared. That's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to take equals to, well, it's really X1 bar minus X bar, whatever. So it's this guy minus this one, close parentheses, squared. Oh, he's got to get dollar signs though, because that 35 can't change, because when I drag it down the column, I'm going to need it to stay the same. There we go. Beautiful. Now notice this one's so big because 22 is so far away from 35. Cool. All right, now I need another sum product equals sum product. That was one word, sum product. And then I want the n's times these guys. There we go. And that's 2540. Now you're thinking, what, are you crazy? Yes, no, I'm not crazy. Sum product means it multiplies and then adds, which is exactly what you want. You want to find that difference and multiply it, and then add it to that difference, multiply it, right? So you sum product. You're summing, adding up the products, the multiplications, and you're multiplying them by N1, N2. That's why I picked the array, these guys, these 10s. That's why they're in there, because those are the N1, N2, N3s. Okay, so then MST is actually, I'll label it as such. The MST is actually that number that we just found, that sum product, divided by, and let me go back to the formula so you can see it, divided by k minus 1, right? Where k is the number of populations or groups we have. So it'd be divided by parentheses In our case, 3 take away 1, because 3 is our last sample, so we have 3 populations. Good? Make sense? All right, so 1270, there's your MST. Now we got to find MSE, the mean square due to error. Hold on, let me go back to that formula. Okay, so it's going to be n1 minus 1, n1 minus 2 minus 1, and so on, times these guys. It's another sum product, but we've got to find each of those. So let me go back here. Well, we have our S1 squared, S2 squared, S3 squared, so that array is going to go into our sum product, no problem. But the problem is we need these guys to take away 1, which is a little strange. You can't really get the array to do that for you. So let me do this way. I'm going to find n minus 1. It's going to be very simple. I don't have to do it here, but I'm going to do it here. This guy minus 1. We all know it's 9, I know, but if I get Excel to do it for me, that's all the better, right? Okay, so I'm going to find my sum product. So it's equals sum product. And what I want to do is I want to take these new ones I just found, that array, times these variances, right? Let me just show you that that works. That's what you're doing is you're taking the n1 minus 1, that was 10 minus 1, that's 9, times that first s squared, and then you add it to the, right? That formula, that sum product formula does it all for you. And then we need to divide it by n take away k. So we're going to divide it by our grand total. So equals this guy divided by parentheses n, which is 30, take away k, which was 3. And there we go. Right? There's our MSE. I better label it. MSE. That's the mean square due to error. All right, let's give it blue. Okay, now we've got both parts for MST and MSE. Now we just need to find the F-test statistic and we're golden. F-test statistic, I can spell, is equal to, and if you recall, it's MST divided by MME. Or MSE, sorry, MSE. The mean square due to treatment divided by the mean square due to error. So I take this number 1270 and I divide it by 32 and change, and I get 38.87. And there's our answer right there. All right, now let's see if I did it all right. It's all well and good to say that I did it. Okay, let's see. 35, yep, 1270, that's what we got. 32.667, that's what we got. 38.8, yep, that's what we got. See? So there you go. There's your test statistic. Okay, so it's a little bit complicated, but what you're doing is actually like glorified weighted means. It's literally the same thing you learned in 3.3. So you found some product of these two columns. Then you find this new column and do some product of these two, right? And then you find this new column right there and you do some product of these two. Gets you that one. And then you find the means by dividing them by their respective things. So pay close attention to that formula on page 6 of the notes of chapter 13. And you'll be golden. All right, I hope that helps and you're able to do that homework problem now.